Right, well, I bought something. Now, I bought this online. Normally, actually, I buy things at car boot sales or flea markets and antique shops, but I happened to wander onto eBay, which is always a bad thing for me, because if I wander onto eBay, then I find things that look interesting, and I buy them occasionally, and this I thought was worth buying. So I'm going to quickly open it up and see what we've got. Does look very well packed, which is great. Quite big actually for this bench. I've set up some cameras. Hopefully there's a good view as to what's happening here. Right, let's put that down. Okay. So relatively simple packaging actually, but very effective by the looks of it. So get rid of that. So that might actually just come out. Quite heavy what's in here. Right. So nothing else in the box. There's only supposed to be one item, one big heavy item. That's what we've got. Don't need the knife anymore, put that away. Now you might be able to guess what this is. Does it look familiar? Right. Now we're talking. Okay, so there's a little bag with a few bits and pieces in there. Where should we hold that up to? Maybe hold it up to that camera. So that's a part that attaches but has been removed, I think, to make it easier to pack. And what we've got here, hopefully, is in camera shot. So what we've got here is a HMV Type 32 motor. Now, I had a video on one of these the other day, and you might think, well, why have I got another one? Well, I've got 3 machines that use this motor, but only one of them is actually working at the minute. And I did buy a spare last year, but the spare was no good, as you probably, or you may have seen in a recent video. Unless I'm missing something very obvious here, I think the quick answer is that no, this is not a runner. This one came up on eBay, apparently in working order, but needs a full service, which is what you'd expect. And I thought, you know, it's worth a punt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it up on my wooden mounting blocks, and we're going to give it a bit of a wind and see if it actually wants to run. Right, well, I've moved the cameras around and I've mounted the motor on a block. So with a winding handle that I've got, let's get that in camera view, there we go. Just going to put it in. In fact, just before I do, let's just try moving this bit here. Now, this thing here is the lever that goes onto this attachment here, which is to do with the speed control. And if I move that, you can just see that the governor's moving just slightly. Didn't move very much, but shows there might be just a tiny amount of spring power in there. So let's just move that away, put that somewhere safe. Easier said than done. Got so many things in this workshop. So just put in this winding handle. This winding handle didn't come with the machine, or didn't come with the motor. If that's actually in view, might be a bit better. But it's a standard HMV style one. Came off one machine or another at some point in the past. I got it in a job lot with some sound boxes actually, and some other winding handles. Now that does look like that's winding. Okay, and let's just try releasing that slightly. There we go. That motor is actually running. So no great surprise really. I bought it from a dealer. The dealer said it was in working order, but needed a good service. So I had absolutely no doubt really that it was going to run. Now what state the springs are in, I'll find out at some point in the future. But to be honest, if it can wind up and turn smoothly, and it's actually working really quite nicely actually. That's really quiet. Then I'll be pleased. Okay. So that's just a little test. Maybe we'll just wind it a bit more than that, because I had one of these on a previous machine, or a machine that I own, where it did wind okay, but one of the springs was broken, and what happened was it would wind a bit and then there would be a sort of slapping noise as one of the springs came, well, it's just slid inside the can. There we go. That sort of slapping, cracking noise is basically one of the springs inside unwinding of its own accord. So you can see the motor's not running at all. It's not actually turning the governor, but the spring barrel is moving. And I can't remember how much winding it needed before it did that. But that does seem to be okay, even though it's a relatively small motor. I'm glancing around the various cameras, and I've got 3 set up here, and it's like such odd angles trying to get everything in. Should still be able to see the governor on at least 1 or 2 of them. So I'll just, well, maybe we'll wind it just a bit more while we're here. Now, if you're enjoying this video, then please do give it a like. I really do appreciate all the likes, the comments, the interactions that I get. I get some wonderful suggestions for videos, and also I learned loads from the comments that people give me as well. Okay, let's well, I'll just wind it a bit more. I mean, the worst that can happen is that one of the springs breaks. But if one of the springs is going to break, then, well, it's going to break. And it'll make a nasty noise, and that'll be it for now. Okay, let's try that again. Now, the motor is well greased. The grease, it doesn't look new, but on the other hand it doesn't look 100 years old either. And this motor is probably, well, HMV were using these motors in the 1920s and the early 1930s, so it's probably 100 years old or so. Now, as I've said, I've got 3 machines that have a motor like this. One does work, in fact that one's always worked. One I repaired, had a broken spring. That's the one that had the single broken spring that I was able to fix, but it made that slapping noise when I initially wound it up. Unfortunately, the repair either hasn't held or something else has gone on with the spring, because that motor's out of action again. And I have a third machine with a motor in, and I'm not actually showing that on this channel yet. I've only recently bought that machine, and I will cover that in a future video. The motor in there is not functioning either. It may just be completely gummed up, but there may actually be something wrong with it. I've not actually opened it up and had a good look. So this will either be used to repair the machine that had a broken spring that broke again, or I might just drop it into the third machine that I've yet to have running at all. Well, don't think I can really argue with this. I mean, that's running really very nicely. Okay, I'm not going to run it all the way down, but hopefully you can see that that motor is running very nicely. Okay, so leave me a comment if there's anything you want to say. Do you think it works well enough as it is? Do you think I should strip it down and give it a full service? Let me know. And also, if you've enjoyed this video, then you'll probably like this one too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.